we're still talking about cases, like we're going to see where artificial intelligence is, where you can find it, how is it being applied, at what point do you find AI, where do you use it, how do you use it. That's what we are looking at right now. And you're giving us quite some very, very important insight about how artificial intelligence requires data.
Yes.
And without data, there is no artificial intelligence.
Yes, as a core element of AI, I'll repeat it, data is very, 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 very important, because through data is when I would call it machine learning.
Yeah.
It's very relevant. Or you can also say it in this way: even AI itself can collect a lot of data.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know that to process relevant results for you.
Yeah.
And actually, where we call generative AI, where you see ChatGPT, where you see there are three I know.
There is Google Gemini, and there are quite so many.
Gemini, yes.
Yes.
So let me give an example of ChatGPT. For example, ChatGPT is what I use most of the time.
Yeah.
And I've noticed this thing. I'm still on the point of data and machine learning.
Yeah.
I've noticed, yes, because this data is what it keeps collecting, and it keeps advancing itself. It's like self-advancement.
Yeah.
So with this advancement is what keeps it growing, and that is what is going to take us into the future of
artificial intelligence.
Yes, artificial intelligence.
You've mentioned something very, very, very important. Currently, in Uganda particularly, South Africa, when you mention AI, it's very hard not to hear something like ChatGPT or Google Gemini. And like you mentioned, the current level or stage that we are at of artificial intelligence is generative AI.
Yes.
So it's generating things, and that's why we're talking about the application of AI.
Yes.
It's generating images, it's generating text. And you also mentioned something that the people that are actually benefiting the most right now, people, organizations that rely a lot, data analysts, data scientists, because now this is what actually artificial intelligence does. Essentially, artificial intelligence is created to help us think better, to make our work easier. But like we shall be saying, it could be harmful to us in a certain way.
Yes.
Should we be worried? Should we be happy? Yes. Essentially, we should be happy because it's really here to solve our problems. So application of AI, it's being applied in different ways. People are applying artificial intelligence in writing, commonly known the ChatGPT thing. Now it can generate images. We have things like in videos. It's very, very hard now. Artificial intelligence, when you find things like ChatGPT or Google Gemini, are even going ahead to partner with technology companies like Apple, Android, where you find now the latest devices are coming up with
Apple AI.
Yes, Apple AI or ChatGPT recently integrated.
AI.
Yeah.
So all these tech companies are integrating AI in their devices.
Yes.
And I think it's something it's something that is going to change, especially the smartphone industry.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think also on that point, integration. Now this is where this point is so much on the future of AI, where we are going to see a lot of industries merging with AI.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know whether you've seen, it's under OpenAI, which is ChatGPT.
Yeah.
There is this, ChatGPT came up with this, it's a form of also generative AI. It's called Sora. For it, it's an image to video.
Yeah.
Yes, it's you give it maybe, for example, like filmmakers. You can get your mood boards. I don't know whether our viewers know what a mood board is.
Yeah.
Mood board is, for example, if I'm going to shoot or anything visual.
Yeah.
What I do, I write my script first. Then the script, I translate it into a mood board. A mood board is a visual elements of the script itself.
Yeah.
I can like just draw that now. My script says maybe Bertrand in front of a laptop, then I draw it.
Okay.
Then the next shot will be Bertrand is now walking and moving away.
Yeah, yeah.
So I get those pictures, put in Sora, and then Sora generates for me those images into videos.
His recent inauguration and some of the first things he was passing. Well, one of the things is that they're going to invest billions of dollars in artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And it's predicted in the future that we shall have over 15.7 trillion in terms of contribution by artificial intelligence. Global industries,
the economy of,
growing and it's growing. So it's projected to reach about 15.7 trillion. That shows how important this really is, how we are in terms of artificial intelligence, and why you should be learning what artificial intelligence is, why you should be applying it. Because like you said, currently we have things like Siri, Alexa. These are also getting way smarter over the days. Last time I talked about Siri eavesdropping and how people sued Apple because they felt their conversations, Siri was eavesdropping. When I say eavesdropping, it would silently listen to conversations.
Yes.
Then when they would go to their social media, it's recommending things. I think it's not only Siri, but it's very common.
lot.
As you're talking these
Yes.
days, you talk about biscuits. The moment you go to your social media,
You find
you're going to see biscuits. The moment you talk about something, you'll find something. So they are learning, they listen.
Yes.
And this is very, very important. So it's not only learning, but they can also listen and apply some of these things. Artificial intelligence is very big. We've seen it in creative music. Last time I talked about the song of Azawi and Reggie Masavu Gocha. I mean, Reggie had already passed on, but they were able
you
to
hear his
combine
voice.
his voice. So this is all artificial intelligence. It can even mimic voices. So it's no longer only mimicking intelligence, but different things. We've seen Elon Musk and the robots he recently introduced. Fine, they might not exactly have the bit of being able to walk and move properly, but this is where they are going. They are learning that as a human being is walking down
Machine
the
learning.
slope, yes, there's a way they're supposed to fold their knees and move in some kind of way for them to be stable. This is all artificial intelligence. You have it on your WhatsApp. You can easily search for anything on your WhatsApp because of AI. It's now integrated
Instagram,
on almost
TikTok,
all social media platforms. It's there.
Recently, I was actually reading an article where this, you know how we use ChatGPT,
Yeah.
but then, so this guy is from the US. He used to use ChatGPT a lot, and he says that one time ChatGPT. Normally, you have to first type in a prompt to get a response. But this time, ChatGPT itself typed and asked about a future event.
Wow.
You get where, for example, was it something about how was your school? You've started school.
Yeah.
How is school taking you? Do you want suggestions on how I can advise you on how to go about with school and everything? Yet this guy had not actually prompted ChatGPT. So what you said about learning, it's the actual eavesdrop where yes, in all forms, in texts, in voice notes, in videos. Actually, they'll even say our cameras alone.
Yeah.
Let me say eyes of AI itself, where you can use, someone can even hack into your camera, your selfie cameras, and look at what you're doing through your selfie camera.
Yes.
So if someone can do that, why not AI? Something that is embedded into your devices everywhere. We have seen homes in China. I see these videos on TikTok so much, where the whole house is a smart house. Actually, they're called smart homes, where everything is automated and has AI in it. The door opens with AI. You have when you're opening it, you have to speak music. You say play music, TV, turn on TV. I need this kind of temperature in my...
It may even turn on your favorite music the moment you walk in the house, because it's what you always play. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's also a threat to some extent.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a threat to some extent, and it's to do with privacy, data privacy, and that's a policy that most companies right now are looking at developing, because it brings out lawsuits and other damages to people.
Yes, like what's happening to Apple.
Yes.
And like I mentioned about it before, currently I think it's about $98 million, because they accepted, fine. They didn't lose the case or anything, but they accepted that it was happening. And if you did have an iPhone somewhere, you are guaranteed to go and claim some money from Apple. You can read more about it, but it's there, and these are actually things that are happening. You talked about it being able to mimic. If you go to dating sites these days, it's also common, because human beings love, they love dating. But you're going to find that you can even find someone totally, and they'll be having a conversation with you, yet you're actually having a conversation with artificial intelligence.
Yes.
They know how human beings are speaking, and they are getting to another level, to the extent that they can even start writing their own things, which is what we are worried about. Right here, we are still talking about the creative side of AI and how it's being applied. We shouldn't ideally be worried. We should maybe be celebrating, because it's here to help our lives. It's here to help us be creative, do things in a more efficient way. Someone was saying before you had systems or processes that people could have taken doing in a whole month, and AI can do this for you literally in an hour by knowing what steps it takes, and it will even do it better for you because it has data, it has gotten the data,
Yes.
it knows how things are going to play out because of its predictability. So it's learning a lot, and now we are getting into also a generation when it comes to the technology bit of it, of quantum computing,
Yes.
where computers are processing 100 times faster than they were before, and they're now integrated with artificial intelligence,
Yes.
which is something super. Now, before we go into our next session, where we shall be looking at the future of AI, the ethical bit, should we be worried? Should we be celebrating? We can just have a final take on Israel. Should we be applying artificial intelligence? What should we be watching out for? Should we be getting some of the devices that have artificial intelligence? We've seen in movies where the people that totally go away from the digital bit and go analog because they are worried of how they're going to be traced and all those things. So what should we be doing right now in terms of application of artificial intelligence? Should we use it more? I mean, yes, students use it in school, but there are also cons to that. So what do you think around that?
I think the best thing is to grow with the world.
Yeah.
Use AI because first, as you said earlier, it makes our lives better. One thing, the thing that you should have done in a month, you can do it in a week.
Yeah.
You get, yes. Collecting data, getting done with tasks, all that AI can help you. And
Yeah.
also, what you should be, the best question here is, should you really be worried? Because it's a threat to a lot of people and a lot of jobs in
Yeah.
every industry. But I would say this as final take that we should adapt to using AI, and the people who will be replaced with human being. That is why we have human being. That is why we have very many species in the earth, animals, birds, insects, but we're the greatest living things that this planet has. You get?
Yeah.
So there's just something about humanity that this planet has. You get?
Yeah.
So there's just something about human intelligence that is unique, and if
That's more efficient. We are looking at being intentional this year. That's more efficient. We are looking at being intentional this year. We are looking at being more efficient. So get into the technology boat. Get onto that bus. Let things not leave you. We shall be back shortly with the future of AI, where it's taking us. Should we be worried? Should we work in a more collaborative way with artificial intelligence? Here on the Creative Lounge. Thank you. Stay tuned. We're still talking about how AI is being applied and the creative bit of it. And one important thing you're talking about is how AI actually needs data. Without data, without analysis, I mean, it won't be able to talk. It won't be able to analyze or come up with the creative things artificial intelligence is known to do. You're still telling us about a company known as Otis and the different ways AI is being applied. I mean, there are several places, like we're going to see, where artificial intelligence is, where you can find it. How is it being applied? At what point do you find AI? Where do you use it? How do you use it? That's what we are looking at right now. And you're giving us quite some very, very important insight about how artificial intelligence requires data.
Yes.
And without data, there is no artificial intelligence.
yes, as a core element of AI, as I'll repeat it, data is very, 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 very important because through data is when I would call it machine learning.
Yeah.
Yes, because the machine keeps learning circumstances according to the data you give it.
Circumstances, patterns, and
Yes,
all
patterns and everything.
Yeah.
So that is how it can teach a child what the child has to know if you feed it the right information.
Exactly.
And what you have to always make sure is that the data that you're given is very relevant. Or you can also say it in this way. Even AI itself can collect a lot of data.
Yeah.
Yes, so you help it, you give it maybe instruction to collect relevant data
Yeah.
in order to process relevant results for you.
Yeah.
And actually, where we are going, what we are going to discuss in the future is the future of AI.
Yeah.
Where you're looking at, right now we are in what they call generative AI.
Yeah,
Where you
generative
see
AI.
ChatGPT, where you see there are three I normally use, but I use
There is
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, there is Google Gemini, and there are quite so many.
Gemini, yes.
Yes.
So let me give an example of ChatGPT. For example, ChatGPT is what I use most of the time.
Yeah.
And I've noticed this thing. I'm still on the point of data and machine learning.
Yeah.
I've noticed, because I've been using it for months, if I feed in a certain prompt, there is a way it will give me, it will present data in a certain way.
Yeah.
Depending on my earlier prompts and the data I've given it about myself.
Exactly.
You get. So that is what, and that is how AI is going to keep evolving.
Yeah.
Yes, because this data is what it keeps collecting, and it keeps advancing itself. It's like self-advancement.
Yeah.
So with this advancement is what keeps it growing, and that is what is going to take us into the future of
Artificial intelligence.
Yes, artificial intelligence.
If it's generating images, it's generating text, and you also mentioned something that the people that are actually benefiting the most right now, organizations that rely a lot, data analysts, data scientists, because now this is what actually artificial intelligence does. Essentially, artificial intelligence is created to help us think better, to make our work easier. But like we shall be saying, it could be harmful to us in a certain way.
Yes.
Should we be worried? Should we be happy?
Yes.
Essentially, we should be happy because it's really here to solve our problems. So application of AI, it's being applied in different ways. Now the latest devices are coming up with
Apple AI.
Apple AI